There is a big difference between having a bad DoorDash day and having your entire income stream wiped out in just seconds. I recently asked you guys a very simple question. If DoorDash crashed today, right now, as you are working the app, what is your immediate plan B? Hundreds of you voted, and honestly, the results kept me up at night. We had 44% of you saying you'd jump to Uber Eats. 19% of you are smart enough to have Spark or Amazon Flex ready to go. But the number that scared me, 32%. 32% of you said, I do not have a plan. If you are in that 32%, you are playing Russian roulette with your bills. Today, we aren't just looking at a poll, we are fixing your business model so you never have to fear a crash, a glitch, or deactivation ever again. Here's the thing, we all know the DoorDash app is held together like duct tape and prayers, and the Friday night crash isn't a myth, it sometimes is a scheduled event. But beyond the technical glitches, we have to talk about DoorDash itself, and they're trying to see how far dashers will go, and it's trying to see how dependent you are on their app. When you have no backup plan, you are desperate, and DoorDash smells that desperation. It feeds you sometimes garbage orders because it knows you have nowhere else to go. You become charity on wheels because you're afraid to say no. I've been doing this for over 7 years. I've seen the app rise and seen them fall, and I've seen drivers get deactivated for absolutely nothing. If you think that it can't happen to you, think again. This is your wake-up call. Flexibility is money in my book. If you can't pivot when DoorDash goes down, you aren't an independent contractor. You're an employee with zero benefits, zero job security. Today, we're breaking down this community poll to show you exactly where the smart money is moving, why Uber Eats is the default for almost half of you, and why 32% of you with no plan, you need to wake up before the next bad thing happens on the DoorDash app. Let's start with the elephant in the room, that 32%. If you are part of this group, I need you to listen to me very carefully. You might be thinking, I'm a platinum dasher. I have great stats. I'm safe. But let me tell you, it's not true. It's not that simple. And some of you are also saying, well, I'm a part-time dasher. I'm just doing this for fun. I don't need a backup plan. Relying 100% on DoorDash is financial suicide. I don't care if your acceptance rate is 100% or 10%. If DoorDash goes down, your income goes to 0 per hour instantly. But it's worse than just a crash. When you have no plan B, you have no leverage. You know the drill. It's the end of the month. You're trying to make bills. You might be trying to make rent. And DoorDash sends you $3 for 9 miles. If you have no other app to turn to, you might actually consider taking that trash just to keep the wheels moving. You start thinking, well, $3 is better than nothing. No, it's not. This is you paying DoorDash for the privilege of delivering the food. You are depreciating your car for pennies because you trapped yourself into a corner. 32% of you who answered no plan are the ones that DoorDash bullies the hardest. You are the ones who get throttled and sit in parking lots wondering if you're shadow banned. Getting set up on a second app isn't about cheating on DoorDash. There are no loyalties in any of these apps. It's about insurance. It's about dignity. When you have a backup, you can look at a trash offer and say decline with a smile on your face because you know you have other options. Now, let's look at majority of you. 44% of you chose Uber Eats as your immediate backup. And this makes sense. It's the most logical pivot. Uber Eats is the closest sibling to DoorDash. The mechanics are similar. The restaurant base overlaps. And in many markets, the volume is comparable. If DoorDash just goes down, opening up Uber Eats is muscle memory for a lot of you, half of you. But here's the strategy behind that. Why is Uber Eats the dominant backup? Well, because unlike others, it's purely transactional. You don't have to schedule blocks well, in some markets, you don't have to fight for a slot at 3 a.m. Most markets, you just hit go. However, there is a trap here too. A lot of you guys treat Uber Eats like the ugly stepchild. You only turn it on when DoorDash breaks down. But if you aren't keeping the account active, if you aren't learning the map on the app, you're going to be rusty when you need it the most. And let's be real about the offers. Uber Eats hides tips. They also have a lower base pay. They play games with the expected payout, but, and this is a big but, they don't penalize you for declining trash the same way DoorDash does with their tier system. However, they too have their own form of a tier system, which a lot of you guys thrive on, and it has been working for you. But there's a lot of times you can just hit dash now and decline away. That's what I do. So for the 44% of you who picked this, you're on the right track. But are you actually multi-apping, or are you just panic switching? Because here's the difference. Multi-apping is running them together to get the best offers that are sent to your phone. Panic switching is just moving from one abusive relationship to another because the first one locked you out. Now we get into the 19% of you. These are the strategic drivers, the ones who looked at Spark and Amazon Flex and says, hey, I want some real money. If DoorDash crashes and you switch to Uber Eats, you're still getting paid $6, $10. You're still chasing those small orders. But if you switch to Spark or Amazon Flex, you are looking at block times. You're looking at guaranteed earnings for a set amount of time. The 19% of you understands that diversity isn't just about having another app. It's about having different types of income. Food delivery sometimes can be volatile. It's lunch rush, dinner rush, and dead times in between. Spark and Flex fill in those dead times. If DoorDash crashes at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday, Uber Eats is probably dead too, but Walmart Spark, that might be popping off with curbside pickup. Amazon Flex, you might grab a surge block for $30 an hour. The barrier, though, to enter is higher. Wait lists are long. Background checks sometimes take forever. But that's exactly why sometimes it's a better backup. It's exclusive. If you are in the 32% with no plan, honestly, in my opinion, get on these wait lists today if you can. Not tomorrow, today. It might take 6 months to get on, but usually by then you'll be wishing you had done it sooner. This 19% group is the most crash proof. They aren't just replacing an $8 order with an $8 order, they're replacing it with a hustle with a shift. And briefly, we have to talk about that 6% who said Grubhub. Look, I know Grubhub feels like a ghost town in some markets, including my own. But here's the thing, never underestimate the underdog. Grubhub has guaranteed minimums in some areas. They show you full payouts up front without hiding tips. For 6% of you holding on to this, you know that when it hits, it hits. It's not about volume with Grubhub anymore. It's about that one unicorn offer that saves your hourly rate. If you don't have Grubhub installed because you think nobody uses it, you're leaving some ammunition on the table. It costs you nothing to have it on your phone, but once again, depending on your market, there could be a wait list here too. So here is a reality check. We are entering a season where economy is tightening. The apps are squeezing us harder. The difference between survival and charity on wheels is your ability to say no and sometimes say yes to someone else. If you're in that 32% with no plan, your homework assignment is simple. You need to go download Uber Eats, Spark, get onto wait lists for some of the ones we mentioned today. Do it right now. Do not let the server crash determine if you can pay some kind of bill or even put money to the side. I want to know in the comments, and be honest with me, are you part of that 32%? And if you are, which app are you signing up for today? If you're not part of that 32%, what other apps do you have And what is that backup plan? While you're down there commenting, I need you to give this video a thumbs up so we can learn more about drivers and about this risk of not having a backup plan. And if you're looking for more DoorDash strategies, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. And if you're looking for the next DoorDash video to watch, this one is up next. I'll see you over there.